And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Shaping Success Morning Coffee. If you got your coffee, I know I do. That's my Warriors Collection cup. You can go to warriorscollectionbrand.com and get joined to that coffee club, and you can get a 15% discount for joining the coffee club using the hashtag SWC. Shameless plug for my buddy Brian, who sends me coffee, and it's good, and I enjoy it. A lot of the proceeds go to a really good cause because they use that to help veterans in need. So very cool. I gotta find my chat window here because I heard it, but I don't see it. That's the interview chat window. I don't know where it's funny. So yesterday I did an actual interview, which I do from time to time. And there we go. There's Nikki. If you guys are on TikTok and you want to join in on the conversation, I'll kind of look over here a little bit, but I got a couple different things going on. I placed this in a different place so I can interact a little bit more over there. But anyway, I did an interview yesterday. Gosh dang it, I just deleted that window. Comments and reactions, so I know what it's called. And it was fun. It was a good one, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, but you should go check out the other interview, and this is kind of a recap. We talked about Jennifer Broxterman. It's an Elliptic coach that I met through Mark England, which was an awesome conversation the first time. Mark's been on the show a couple times, and I've had a couple of his coaches on. I'm actually thinking about reaching out to Megan Henry again because she is an awesome inspiration too. There are some really cool people who have come from that I've chatted with, and Jen and I kind of share. She's a dietitian, registered dietitian, and then she talks about like nutrition and stuff like that, and we kind of have this interesting conversation back and forth because she thinks of life kind of in metaphors, and I feel like that's what I do as well. That's how I relate things. The way that my brain thinks is like when something happens, how do I relate that to something that I've been through in life, and how do I use that to make myself better, help other people be better, and that type of thing. And that's why I do this, because I think that people sometimes need help, and sometimes the things that get in their way is themselves. Like the biggest barrier that you always have is do you believe in yourself? Do you have the self-belief that you can do whatever it is? And a lot of times people can sit there and tell you that you can't do it, but they don't really know who you are, and you have to realize that you're stronger than what other people tell you. And it's a struggle. It's a daily struggle because I struggle with it every single day. I believe in myself, and like you can be around people who don't believe in you, and that can turn into something that will destroy the way that you think, because you have this, you're chugging along and yeah, I can do this. And you're moving and you're moving and you're moving and you got this. And next thing you know, someone says, dude, you suck, or you stumble a little bit, but even though you stumbled, you know that you can do it. But then someone in the back of your mind just tells you, no, you can't. And that's kind of the worst kind of thing. And she was talking about different thoughts that you have in your mind, and you have a bully in your mind, right? Like you have someone who tells you can't do it, and then you have some outside force telling you the same thing, and the next thing you know, you don't believe in yourself anymore. So you have to kind of kick that inner bully to the side every time it comes into your mind, but it's something that you have to train yourself to do, because self-doubt is something that can really kick your butt. And so you have to decide that you're willing to not allow that self-doubt to cause you problems. And once you figure that out, the struggle in your head kind of goes away. And then now it's just the outside stuff. And then the outside stuff, you just have to, you deal with it in the same way. So really good conversation about that. And one thing that she talks about, I picked up a another, I talked about the last podcast where she talked about brushing your teeth, and I posted something about it because a lot of times we'll sit there and we'll think about it. What are we doing to, like, you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth, right? And I always relate this to weight loss because weight loss is something that a lot of people struggle with. And you go on a diet, right? And what happens is you get in this pattern of you're eating, really clean, you're working out, you're exercising, you're doing all those things. And you go home one night and you feel like a piece of candy and you're like, you know what, I'm going to have a piece of candy. So you grab one of those mini Snickers and you throw that down. You're like, you know what, I need another one. So then you go and grab a second one. You know what, screw it. I just screwed this whole deal up. I'm going to go eat a bag of chips. Then you eat a bag of chips. And the next thing you know, it's just kind of like this spiraling thing. And you decide that, screw it. I'm just going to go eat pizza. Now I'm going to go do this. And it all just falls apart, right? So then you wake up in the morning and you're like 5 pounds heavier. You're like, shit, I screwed that up last night. I did this. Now what? And then you decide that, well, I screwed up yesterday. And since I screwed up yesterday, I'm just going to screw up today. I'm just going to go all out. I'm 5 pounds heavier. I had lost 5. Now I put that 5 back on, blah, 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 blah. And then it just kind of downhill spiral, right? And it was funny because she said something and I just started really thinking about it. And she's like, you're going up the stairs. And this is what the diet thing is like. You're going up the stairs, right? And you continue to keep walking up those stairs. And then all of a sudden you take a step back down the stairs. And it doesn't mean that the path to up is still not there. Just because you went down a step doesn't mean that you can't go back up, but you choose to just keep going down another step, right? Well, she compared this to brushing your teeth, okay? So brushing your teeth every morning, every night, and it's funny, you'll hear me expose myself because I brush my teeth every single day. As a matter of fact, I'm going to the dentist this morning to get my teeth cleaned. But I brush my teeth once a day in the morning, in which some people are going to go, oh, gross, because I know that there's people who brush it at least twice a day, and they brush it in the middle of the day, and every time you eat or whatever, you brush your teeth. Anyway, no matter what your habit is, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the habit of brushing your teeth, right? You develop this habit when you brush your teeth in the morning, and it's funny because I'm sitting there looking at my daughter, and we have to fight with her to brush her teeth. Same thing with my son's 2, so he's not quite got it. He does want to brush his teeth, but all he really wants to do is put a little toothpaste on his toothbrush and put it in his mouth and kind of mess around, that way. But anyway, so you brush your teeth, and the next day, right, you brush your teeth. Yeah, at least twice. I know. I'm sorry, but my here's the funny thing, okay? And this doesn't mean anything. They have these recommended things you should floss every single day. I may floss this morning because I'm going to the dentist, and then she's going to ask me today, do you floss every day? And I'm going to be like, no, because I'm going to tell her the truth because I don't want to lie. But I go into the dentist and I knocked on wood because I very rarely have cavities. I get them, but I very rarely have them. I think it's been probably 5 years since I've had one, and I don't even think that this dentist that I'm going to has ever fixed a cavity in my mouth, because I've been going to him he's the latest dentist, because I typically like to stick with the people that I go to forever, right? You go to your dentist and they know you, and I go there forever. It's actually pretty close to here, but even when I lived in Boise, I would drive 30 minutes to go to the dentist because I started going there and I knew that I just wanted to continue to go to the same dentist because you work with that person and they do a good job and you know who they are and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, very rarely do I have cavities, but if I did not brush my teeth in the morning, I feel kind of icky. But I'm not going to go tomorrow and go, I didn't brush my teeth yesterday. I'm not going to brush them today, right? And then decide that it's just, you know what, I didn't brush them yesterday. Why do I even brush them? I'm never going to brush them. And it's because you've created this habit that at a very young age, like I told you, I'm talking to my 2-year-old about it, or handing my 2-year-old a toothbrush just to get him started with that type of habit. And they have to do it. They have to learn to do it, And so if you can do that with your brushing your teeth, it's like, where's your toothbrush in the morning? She was talking about that too. It's like you wouldn't go put your toothbrush in the refrigerator and, make it really hard to find your toothbrush. You would just brush your teeth. So you have to think about like habits like that. Like even though you forgot to brush your teeth today, doesn't mean that you're not going to do it tomorrow. So how can we relate that to everything else in our life? And it's just like the staircase, just like I was telling you, it's like just because you went one step back doesn't mean that you can't go up the stairs. You can't get to that destination. So you have to be willing to just look past that and keep moving. And that was kind of the conversation that we had yesterday, and it's really cool to think about things that way. I'm going to release that episode the 1st or the 2nd of January. It's funny how podcasting goes right now. Like I know that you guys are here, and I know that you're watching, listening, hanging out, and people are listening to the podcast. But this time of year, like from Thanksgiving on, it kind of gets slow. As far as downloads go and things like that. And it's just kind of the normal thing because everyone has so much going on that they're too busy to watch, listen, or get involved. But I'm going to continue to do this. And I know yesterday I wasn't here. It was kind of funny. Yesterday I didn't sleep very well again. Which is, we've had a lot of things going on, and we've decided, my wife and I, we took the house off the market. We decided that we're going to figure out a way to make it work. And so with that, having faith that the right thing is going to happen, that we're going to be provided for, that things are going to be okay, I thought, tomorrow, we did this 2 days ago. I thought that, well, I'll probably sleep pretty good because this worry won't be on my mind anymore. And it's not. Like, it's not there. Like, it's really cool to be able to start, like, hanging up pictures and doing the things that I want to do. Thinking about what I'm going to do in here because this is not quite exactly how I want it. There's a lot of stuff in here, but once we decided that we were going to sell the house, we just stopped doing things. We're like, okay, we don't want to completely move into the house and do the things that we want to do because if we do, we're going to have to just take it down anyway, and it's not going to go. So we started hanging up pictures in the house, which is funny because I thought that, well, she'd figure that out and she'd want to hang everything up, but now she's having a hard time trying to figure out where to put it. But I thought, I'll sleep okay. I'll be all right. Sleep will get a little bit better. And it didn't. I didn't sleep very well yesterday, and I got up. How's it going, Jen, over in TikTok land? I didn't sleep very well, but last night, I slept pretty decent. I also did take Tylenol PM, but I needed it because it's funny. I had my knee replaced a couple years ago, and I'm starting to have like this hip pain, which is weird. I mean, but it happens. I mean, you certain things as you age, as you get older, you start to realize that everything for some reason will hurt one way or another. And it seems like that's the way it is. But like the thing that I always go back to is my knee has been messed up for so long. Has that messed up my hip in some way? And is this going to be the next thing that I have to deal with as far as my breaking down old body? And I just turned 43. So, that stuff happens. So, the thing that really I want to drive home here before I go is the fact that even though like something as simple as brushing your teeth, right? Something as simple as that. If you can start using those metaphors or relating your life to those situations that you go through and that you build and that you do, if you can think back to, all right, I am trying to finish school, right? Like you're going to college and I'm trying to finish this class and I was sick today, doesn't mean that you can't catch up tomorrow. And those habits that you develop, you think about brushing your teeth, like it's something that you have done from a very young age and it's just something that you do and it's automatic. So in order to make that thing automatic, you have to do it every single day. And as easy as like dieting, right? Like we call it a diet because we feel like it's something that's restrictive and it's something that we're going to do every single day. And if you only do it for like 2 weeks, you don't develop a habit. Like you're like, okay, I'm going to reach this goal, but that goal is something that you have to find and maintain. And you can't just like go and eat really good for a while and then all of a sudden go back to the old way and expect to have the same thing that you want. So remember why you went to that goal, and remember, did you brush your teeth this morning? Yeah. Okay. Then you should eat healthy today. And just because you eat a piece of candy doesn't mean that you have to eat 10 pieces of candy, or you have to just go off the deep end. And that doesn't snowball into the next day, into the next day after that, the next week, the next month, the next year. So things to think about. I appreciate that, Jen. I do. I really appreciate you. So that's kind of it. I mean, I want you to think about that. Think about the things that you do and your goals and your dreams and your desires. And what are you doing to make that better every single day, and continue to do it. And it can be a small step. I used to coach baseball, and when I coached baseball, I was talking to the kids about something as simple as tucking in your shirt and having a clean uniform and having the field look nice. Taking pride in whatever you're doing, no matter what it is. If you have a bed of sand and there's rocks in it, and your job is to pick rocks out of it every single day to make sure that there's no rocks in there, and you have every single rock out of there and it looks as beautiful as it possibly can to you, that's going to be something that you can take pride in. And even the smallest job, you take care of the little small jobs, all the big things will take care of itself. Because you could have this 1 foot square in that little bed of sand. And if your bed of sand has this cleanest square, then maybe it's like mowing your lawn. Like, I look at my lawn, and it's a lot of times I see people, my lawn right now doesn't look as great as I want it to because it's brand new planted. But I can tell you this, my lawn is going to be the best one in the neighborhood because I take pride in it. And I want people to drive by and go, that guy really takes care of his lawn. He mows it, he fertilizes it, he makes sure that it looks the best it can, no matter what. You take pride in those little things, and then the big things take care of themselves. So think about that. Think about all the little steps that you have to take, and take pride in those little steps, because those little steps lead to big things. That is what I've got for you today. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Morning coffee. We'll catch up again tomorrow. Don't forget to brush your teeth.